Hello, my name is Javier Rodriguez, and I'm here with composer Nansi Carroll as we discuss her work, Prelude and Reflections on Regina Caeli, which is one of the chosen pieces for the 2025 Meg Quigley Vivaldi Competition. Nancy, thank you for joining me today. I'd like to ask some questions about your piece, Prelude and Reflections on Regina Caeli, so the contestants of the Meg Quigley Vivaldi Competition can have some insight into this work as they prepare to submit the preliminary round recordings. Firstly, could you tell us about your initial inspiration to write Regina Caeli?
Well, first of all, it was a request from you actually for a piece for your senior recital, senior college recital, and and you wanted it to be unaccompanied, and I had the chant Regina Caeli um, is one that I had known for a while actually, and really sort of like, and it felt to me actually kind of bassoony in a way. um, and so and also that was at a time when compositionally also I was kind of like looking for inspiration in pieces that were already written, actually to sort of work from that. So that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I do remember that it was I was going into my senior year of undergraduate studied at LSU, and I remember asking we've known each other for a very long time,
Yes.
having grown up in Gainesville, Florida, and then I went to college at LSU, and then I remember you surprised me with a piece. I think it was for my birthday, but then I had an entire school year to prepare the piece, and I remember premiering it for the Eubulus Festival, but it was called something else, wasn't it, back
It
then?
was called Out of the Sacred.
Right,
Uh-huh.
there in Gainesville, Florida, and then I performed it for my senior recital. So that was a really wonderful memory. Wonderful. Can you tell us about the title Regina Caeli and what that means?
Okay, the chant, it's a chant from the Easter season, and the full translation is Queen of Heaven, rejoice, for he whom you merited to bear has risen as he said, pray for us to God. And with each of those sentences is followed by the Alleluia, which is ancient hymn of praise, basically. Alleluia meaning praise to God. And it's the funny thing is actually, I don't believe that I've ever programmed it specifically actually during the Easter season to sing, but it was interesting actually. Had a kind of full circle experiences when I went to St. Augustine for the priestly ordination. The final piece actually was Regina Caeli, which we all sang together.
And that was recent, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Can you talk about the makeup and form of the two movements?
Well, the prelude is, I think the idea of that is to be kind of like evocative of what's going to happen in the reflections. The We notice in the prelude, for instance, that there are um, major seconds, sort of like a lot of major seconds, and this is how the actual Regina Caeli chant begins, actually with major seconds, ascending and descending. The um, the second movement is essentially a variation form. I called it reflections rather than variations because uh, the relationship to the source material is kind of like extended, and as the reflections progress, you find that they get even more sort of extended, and then it kind of comes back full circle for the final reflection.
Wonderful. And finally, what would you like the contestants of the Meg Quigley Bassoon Competition to come away with as they work and perform your music?
Well, as I was reflecting on this, actually, there are a number of things that came to mind. When there was when you're a kid and you learn about the orchestra and you're told bassoon is the clown of the orchestra. Well, I actually like to think of bassoon, among other things, as a purveyor of joy. Um, it's funny, what was going through my mind this morning actually was that bassoon section, little bassoon solo in the waltz movement of the Tchaikovsky Fifth Symphony, yada da ba da 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 ba da da da. It's sort of um, very sort of joyous, and also purveying this, communicating this joy with such a wide color palette, which is um, another thing actually sort of working on the piece was really sort of kind of like a major discovery for me, actually. And so, what I hope that people are able to plug into, um, a couple things. First of all, the essential joy. I mean, the antiphon itself, the Regina Caeli, is very joyous, and I'm wanting to. I'm hoping that the performers can sort of can plug into this, and also at times there's some playfulness, and that I'm hoping that the performers also can enjoy that and actually sort of have fun with that playfulness.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining me today to talk about Prelude and Reflections of Regina Caeli, and we hope that the competitors of the Meg Quigley competition really enjoy working on this piece as it's part of the required repertoire for the preliminary and semifinal rounds for the 2025 Meg Quigley competition. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining me today, and have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
And thank you.